There is going to be a stimulus check before the end of the year, 2025. President Trump just broke the news that he is considering a $1,000 to $2,000 stimulus check for every American citizen, including seniors on Social Security and disability benefits, and he wants the legislation passed before the end of the year. Now, the president a few months ago had proposed a $600 stimulus check, which already has been put into legislation before the Senate. And so, the question is he replacing the 2,000 with the 600, or is it going to be 2,600? Well, I have done the research and I have all the details, but let's review the headlines together. So, here is the first one from the New York Post. Trump considering $2,000 tariff dividend for Americans, that was on October 2nd published. We have here from Axios, what to know about Trump's pitch for 2,000 stimulus checks from tariff revenue. And then there is another one here, from Newsweek. Let me try and get that on your screen. President Trump proposes new stimulus check of up to $2,000 for Americans. Now, what do you think it should be? Because he's saying it should be 1,000 to 2,000. I know what I think it should be, but I want to hear from you. Go in the comment section and let me know how much you think the stimulus check should be. Should it be 1,000? Should it be 2,000? Or should it be 600, like he proposed originally? Because there are people who are saying that any stimulus is a bad idea, because it's going to cause inflation, because they are blaming the stimulus for causing inflation back during the pandemic. So, there are people already coming out against the president's $2,000 stimulus check that would benefit seniors on Social Security and disability, in addition every other American citizen. So, I want to hear from you. My name is Wami. I am a government benefits expert. For 15 years, I have been helping seniors get the retirement benefit they deserve. I create content on Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, Foodstamps, and other personal finance issues both in and out of Congress that affects seniors. If you're new here, welcome. I am glad you're here. Do me a favor. Go into the comments and let me know your city and your state. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, welcome back. I am glad you're here. We have a lot to cover because this is surprising news and exciting news because a lot of us had given hope that there was going to be any stimulus at the end of the year, because seniors have been asking me this question constantly in the comments. Is there going to be a stimulus? Is there going to be a stimulus? And unfortunately, I had to say no, because all my research was pointing to one answer. There is no credible bill right now other than the $600 stimulus that was proposed earlier that had meaningful chance of passing the House and the Senate and being signed by the president because the $600 stimulus. There is a bill in the Senate, but there's no bill in the House. And if you know how the government works, you need both houses to pass the legislation. Even if it's the president's idea, you need both houses to pass the legislation. So when the $600 went into the Senate, but I never saw a bill in the House, it made me believe that that is not something that's going to happen in 2025. It may be something that happens in 2026. And then the president came out a few days ago and said he's considering a 1,000 to 2,000 stimulus check before the end of the year. And so now that puts the whole issue back on the table. But as I mentioned, now there's pressure from other people saying it's a bad idea. So let's go to, one article that explains it in detail, and then we can read it together so that we can understand what is happening and what are the timeline of getting this money into your pocket this year. So I want to make sure that you can see what is on my screen. No, you cannot. So let me make that happen and then I can... There we go. All right. So here is it. Trump eyes issuing 1,000 to 2,000 dividend checks for Americans, with the cash coming from $1 trillion in tariff revenue. So imagine opening your mailbox to find a $2,000 dividend check from the government. That's the eye-popping idea President Trump is now floating, all thanks to his sweeping tariff policy. So what does this mean? In a recent interview with One American News, Trump said how much money tariffs could generate. They are just starting to kick in. He said, but ultimately, your tariffs are going to be over $1 trillion a year. That's a big claim. Treasury Department data cited by Fox shows cumulative tariff collection of about $214 billion so far in 2025. Trump says the funds will go towards paying down the national debt. Number one, we're going to pay down the debt because people have allowed the debt to go crazy. The US national debt now stands at $37 trillion. But Trump insisted America can grow its way out of with the kind of growth we are having now. The debt is very little, relatively speaking. You can grow yourself out of the debt. It's not a question of paying it. It's growing yourself out of it. So that's the president's idea. But let's talk about tariffs, because that's what this particular video is about. So, and then comes the kicker. We also might make a distribution to the people. That's Trump being quoted almost like a dividend to the American people. He revealed we are thinking maybe 1,000 to 2,000 it will be great, or it will be great. Quoting him directly. So, will it happen? It's not the first time the idea of cutting checks from tariff revenue has been surfaced. Back in July, Senator Josh Hawley introduced a bill to send $600 tariff rebates to hardworking Americans, arguing that they share it in the wealth that trays the president's tariff have brought into the country. Now, that's what I was talking about earlier. President Trump has said in an interview in July that he wanted to do a $600 rebate, tariff stimulus. And then Senator Josh Hawley then went ahead and did something about it. So let me show you that particular thing. So here's the headline. New bill proposes $600 tariff revenue. That was back in July. And when I say he went ahead and did something about it, he actually did. So let me pull this away and show you Senator Josh Hawley's press release and his subsequent bill that he went ahead and proposed. So here it is. You know, Senator Josh Hawley introduced legislation to give Americans that tariff based on President Trump's own promise. So today, U.S. Senator Josh Hawley introduced the American Worker Rebate Act legislation that will send rebate checks to working Americans following the historic revenue accrued through President Trump's tariff policy. So how would it work? It will provide a tariff rebate check to this year. I want to emphasize that it was supposed to happen this year to American workers and families with similar parameters like the one that was passed in Congress in 2020. It means that every adult and child will get $600, so a family of 4 gets $2,400. So that was what the senator was proposing, and he went ahead and drafted legislation that is actually in the Senate right now. And I have the legislation I want to show you because I want you to see all the receipts. So here it is in the 119th Congress, which is the Congress we're in right now. And it talks about sending a rebate check to the American people. And here's the bill details of it that are here. And here, right here, it said in general, for purpose of paragraph, the applicable amount shall be equal to $600 or an amount equal. So basically right here in the legislation, you can see it's $600 rebate. So because this legislation made it into the Senate and I didn't see a version in the House, you know, I kind of thought that maybe this was not going to happen. So that was where my doubt came in. Now, before I continue this, if you're seeing the number on the screen, 443-293, right? 443-293-0080. That is the number to our text updates. If you want to join all the seniors that are getting updates from me and my team via text message of breaking news, and not only giving you the news, but actually giving you context. What does it mean for you? How does it affect you and your benefits and your retirement? Then text Insider. Text the word Insider to 443-293-0080, and you'll be added to our text list and stay on top of all the breaking news that are happening at, breaking neck pace. I feel like every single day you turn around, there's something huge happening that is not only something you consume just as a headline, but you also need to think about how it affects you. And that's what being part of this text list is going to afford you, that opportunity to stay on top of it so that you don't miss anything both in and out of Congress that could affect your benefits, your retirement, and your finances. So now let's continue this. So as I mentioned, because the legislation that I was talking about, Senator Hall's legislation, did not make it into the House, I felt like, okay, maybe it is not something that's going to happen this year, because for it to happen, both houses of Congress have to pass the legislation. So I gave it a rest. I never talked about it again. But then the president is back in the news talking about a new stimulus, 1,000 to 2,000. I am assuming that the 1,000 to 2,000 is going to replace the 600. But there is opposition already. There are people that are saying this is a terrible idea and that is just going to cause inflation. And we're already in a very high inflation environment where people are feeling that prices of goods and services are going up. Even though the government is saying that inflation is down, people are feeling different. And especially seniors on Social Security and disability benefits who are seeing their healthcare costs go up dramatically. Let me show you something that I recently pulled that will show you how much healthcare costs are going up next year. 2026, right? When your Social Security cost of living adjustment is announced, your Medicare premiums and deductibles are also going to be announced. Well, here's what you're looking at. In 2026, Medicare Part B premium is going to go up by at least 11.6%. How do I know this? Because the Social Security trustees came out with a report that said exactly that. Then your Medicare Part B deductible will go up by 12%, and PAD deductible will go up by 4.2%. Part D catastrophic coverage will go up by 5%. Part D base beneficiary premium, will go up by 6%. So as you can see, healthcare cost is going to go up a lot. Meanwhile, the most generous Social Security cost of living prediction in terms of cost of living adjustment that you are likely to receive, the most generous one is putting it at 2.7%. The most generous cost of living, Social Security cost of living adjustment, is at 2.7%. So you're probably thinking, how is it that you're going to get a 2.7% increase in your Social Security benefits, but then your healthcare cost is going up by that much, and we're looking at a good 12% in some cases? How is that possible? Well, it's because inflation in certain areas of the economy is still very high. And so, even though the overall inflation that the government claims, is low, COLA predictions are not staying with that. COLA is not, there yet. So you're feeling a certain amount of inflation, and you're expecting that COLA will come in and save you. And then the same government is telling you that your cost of living adjustment, it's only going to be 2.7%. So let me show you that report so that we are all on the same page. This is from the Senior Citizens League, a very reputable organization that predicts Social Security cost of living adjustment, and they are predicting a 2.7%. So you look at that, and then you look at the previous chart, and you see that there's something out of whack. So if you feel like you can't get ahead, if you feel like the cost of living is crushing you, you are not alone. That is why the stimulus check thing is important. And that's why a lot of seniors have been asking the question, and finally the president wants to do it. But some people are against it. So let's talk about it. They're saying that it's going to cause even more inflation. So, here it is. I don't think a rebate will be a particularly good policy. Alex Durante, senior economist at the Tax Foundation, told CNBC, "I would prefer that the revenue was used for deficit reduction rather than just cutting checks to the people." Others warned that such payments could stoke inflation, an issue still lingering after the pandemic-era stimulus measures. People will go out and spend the money, and that will further put upward pressure on prices and probably magnify inflationary effects, said Joe Joseph Rosenberg, senior fellow at the Urban Broking's Tax Policy Center. So, right now, that's where we are. The president wants to do a 0 to 2,000 stimulus check. Others think it's a bad idea. I want to hear from you. What do you think? Do you think that the stimulus check should go ahead as the president is proposing? And how much do you think it should be? Should it be $1,000? Should it be $2,000? Should it be $600? And what do you think about inflation? Do you think issuing stimulus to Americans, including seniors, is going to cause more inflation that we're already experiencing? I want to hear from you in the comment section below. And so finally, let's talk about something that I have been, on a crusade, almost on a mission to try to help seniors. And that is Medicare. So if you are a senior citizen and you are turning 65 or you're already on Medicare, you know that open enrollment is about to happen and almost all Medicare plans are changing. Literally, they are changing. And so if you read the news lately, it felt like an apocalypse when it comes to Medicare because a lot of plans are changing. A lot of insurers are leaving certain markets. And so for a senior who is trying to figure out what to do about Medicare, it can be overwhelming. Well, that's why I come in. I'm trying to help 100,000 seniors get peace of mind about Medicare. Why am I doing that? Because you've earned it. You've worked 35, 40, 50 years. You've earned this benefit because you paid into it. It's time to get the best out of it. But here's the problem. 90% of all seniors are in the wrong plan because there are 24,000 plans out there. And the government does not just out of the generosity of their heart put you in the best Medicare plan possible. No, that is your responsibility because they know it can be overwhelming. And that's how they keep some of your money, because they know if you are left with the 24,000 plans to sort through. A lot of people just pick whatever they can find, and that costs you money and costs you your health. So I'm here to help you in a couple of ways. Number one, educate you on Medicare like I'm doing today. Number two, help you with guides and that I share. I create these guides, short digestible guides that I share for free that you can get access to understand what's happening with Medicare in bite sizes, and then connect you to the best resources possible. So how am I doing that? Well, it's because of all these headlines, these crazy headlines. 1 million people are losing coverage. United headline. United Healthcare recently dropped 60,600,000 people from Medicare Advantage plans. Hospitals are even dropping plans nearly every single day. We're seeing this. And then you talk about the Medicare advisory industry. And recently, President Trump and his Justice Department sued a whole bunch of medical advisory companies for getting kickbacks from me, Medicare companies. Why are they doing that? Well, it's because they push seniors into specific plans so that they can make the most commission, and then leave seniors in plans that are not very useful to them or doesn't help them in the ways that they need. That is why I have partnered with Chapter Medicare, because they are the real deal. Chapter is not there to promote any specific plan. They want to be in your corner and help you get the best out of your Medicare benefit that you've earned. So, call them at 539-205-2147. Or if you rather they call you, go into the comment section, go into the description to this video. You'll see a link. It takes a minute to fill out and then they'll reach out to you. Or you can go to askchapter.org/insider. Here's the deal. We have sent over 2,500 of our viewers like you to Chapter, and they've had the experience that I'm talking about, that peace of mind experience about Medicare. Because there is nothing worse than needing medical care and realizing that your Medicare coverage is not good enough. And so Chapter is going to help you figure that out. When you call them, they're going to look at your current plan. If it's a good plan and it's the right plan for you, they'll tell you, and then that's it. It's free advice. You don't have to pay anything. But if your plan is not where you need to be, they will present you all the plans in your local area and then help you make an informed decision about it. So I think that this is do I want to help 100,000 seniors this year before the end of the year get right with Medicare. Get into the plan that gives them peace of mind, and you could be the next person. So, give Chapter a call. If you call them, you're going to be speaking to these people that I'm pulling from their website. These are their licensed agents that are not there to sell you anything but help you get the best plan. They are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They can save you $1,100 a year. And I've just talked about inflation. That is a lot of money to save that could go back into your pocket that you can spend on something else. So give Chapter a call. And then finally, let's talk about helping seniors and putting seniors first. So as you can see, that has been one of the missions of this channel, is to put seniors first. Our whole thing has been to make sure that we're cutting through all the noise and giving you tools, resources, and communities that will allow you to be able to enjoy a stress-free retirement, but also be part of a community that's looking for the same things so that you can learn from each other. That's why we've launched our school community for seniors age 65, 55 plus. Now, you're probably thinking, why are we launching a community for seniors? Well, this is something that a lot of you have actually asked for, because number one, you feel like you're missing out on things. If you can't watch my YouTube channel every day, if you feel like you're missing out on stuff, and yes, YouTube does not share everything with you. And so this community is set up in order to help you maximize your retirement and make sure that you are, getting every dollar, every discount, and every advantage that you deserve. So let me walk you through this community real quick so that you can see what this is all about. So this is based on the school platform, And the goal is to help you, to stop missing out on benefits and get the retirement perks that you deserve to minimize your stress and maximize your retirement. So it's a community for 55 plus, and as I mentioned, to help you unlock every dollar discount and advantage that you deserve. What are you going to get if you pay to join this community? Well, exclusive weekly videos to maximize your Social Security benefits, monthly money saving tips and senior discounts, step-by-step guides. We